Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to this section. So I want to start this section by talking about something very important. And this is going to be the basis of this section and basically what we're going to learn inside it. All right. So, so far, if you think about all the programs that we've actually ever created, right? Every code that we've written, the way our code works is that it runs, maybe it has some loops, for loops and while loops, and it gets some data, processes something, and then gets to the end of it. Or when it meets a condition, it gets to the end of it. All right. But if you think about any program, really, there's a situation where you want to remember that sometimes programs technically don't have an end. So this is the type of program that maybe is waiting for an event or waiting for you to do something. For example, imagine a game, right? If you think about it, a game is technically a never-ending program until you actually exit out of it, right? So think about something like that. So if you think about it, a game, when you actually play this game, you press keys, and based on your input, stuff are happening on the screen, right? So what we're going to actually focus in this section is something like this. So the idea is that I want you to become familiar with event listeners. Now, the idea with an event listener is that basically these are functions inside your program that are waiting for you to press a button, all right? And when you do that, the button you press is going to run a function, and that function is going to do something. And again, through this event listener, you're going to actually learn another important thing, which is called higher functions. Basically, these are functions that are inside another function. So that is something that we're going to go over as well. And by the end of this section, you're going to create something really, really interesting, something really cool that is kind of a game, and you will see what I mean by, event listeners and like all sorts of things. All right, so let me actually show you what we're going to make here. So the first program that we're going to make here, let me just pull it up right here, is this. So this is the idea of like, kind of a game that I mentioned. So this is, again, the turtle graphics. Is still, we're working with this turtle graphic module. And if you take a look, I can actually move this with my mouse, with my keyboard. So if I can just move it, draw, and again, if I can just move that around, and again, all of this is happening because I'm pressing buttons on my keyboard. So again, I'm pressing forward buttons and all that, and again, I can just turn this around, and as it goes, it just draws things. All right, so basically that is really what's happening. And again, the reason this works is that because this is actually waiting for me to press buttons, and it just runs, technically can run forever. Again, that's the first thing you will actually learn. The second thing I actually want to show you is a game that we're going to create. This is going to be the project, the main project that we're going to actually create. So this is the turtle game, and you're going to enter the color that you want, the color of the player that you want to actually bet on. For example, I'm just going to say blue. And when you actually click OK, it's going to place all these turtles, and it's going to run them, and the turtle that runs, that hits the end of the screen, wins. And basically it tells you you've lost. Orange turtle is the winner. So basically it's a game. But again, the idea, this is another thing that I want to show you guys, is using multiple using multiple objects. Because so far what we're doing is that we're actually obviously creating objects from classes, right? But we're actually just using a single object. But I want us to use multiple objects, and that's what actually we're going to be doing, because we are going to be spawning all these different turtles. So to do that, we need to create a lot of different objects from the same class, and that's something you will learn as well. So it's going to be a really fun one. It's going to be interesting. You're going to learn a lot of interesting stuff, again, from event listener to higher order functions, which is really, really fun, and it's going to open a whole different set of different skills for you to create interesting programs. And that is basically almost everything you need with Python to actually create effective programs and build whatever you want. So let me know if you have any questions, guys, and let's get it started.